there are two ways of looking at it. You can say that this is a mistake, let me redo it and fix the problem. If you do that, you have not learned from this mistake. The better thing to do, how many of you are exposed to these tools of analysis and things like that, YY theory? That's all? I think there's something which Professor Nagarajan, I'll give you feedback. Good thing to expose people to. Yeah. What this YY theory, to put it very simply, it goes by different names. What it says is that ask YY 5 times and you will get the real answer of what the problem is. Most of the time, the answer which comes is a surface answer. But you need to keep digging and digging and digging till the root. So this YY theory is also called root cause analysis. So if you are able to identify what the root cause of this mistake is or of this failure is, you will not repeat it again. Which is far more important than fixing it just this one time and then maybe 5 deliveries later, you repeat the same mistake. So, whole sciences have evolved around it. You know, the Japanese have words for everything. They have this, for instance. They will find a way of ensuring that you don't make this mistake again. You see any Japanese equipment, if a knob should not turn in a particular way, there will be some small way they will ensure that you cannot turn it that way. They call it pokoyoko. Incidentally, I learned all this in the 5 years I spent in engineering, because there you, rather than in a chemical plant, I'm sure all this is applicable, it is applicable, but in the engineering thing, it is used again and again and again. Have I answered or still or confused you more than what I started out with? It's you, I mean, I can give you examples on, I thought product was the easiest thing to relate to. Yeah? Or let's look at it this way. Let's talk of something in a computerized business environment. One of the biggest sources of error is data entry. Okay? So, if you can minimize data entry, your chances of errors are reduced. So, you heard of these ERP packages which today all companies adopt. So, what does an ERP package do? It basically, the databases are common. So, you enter data once, and if that is validated, there will never ever be a mistake again after that. Have I on? Okay.
Good evening, sir. So my question is regarding the Zero Liquid Discharge project. Sir, you had mentioned earlier that you were the second largest producer of PVC in the country. So if you were to become the first or the largest, sir, essentially what we are taught in class is you reduce your utilities, you increase the efficiency, and your job is done. So then how did going for a Zero Liquid Discharge project, which incurred so many expenses on the utilities, like what was the motivation for going for such a project?
Motivation, basically, as I mentioned to you, was a diktat from our chairman. Yeah. You will not let water out. So, in our company, is a very interesting company. It is a professionally managed company. Its group turnover is about 5,500 crores. It operates in 4 sectors. Each sector is headed by a professional managing director. The It's a privately held company, incidentally. The only listed company in the group, Chemplast Sanmar Limited, was the only listed company in the group. We took it private a couple of months back. So we today have no listed company in the group. Chemplast is also the largest company in the group, about 2,300, 2,400 crores turnover. So these 5,500 crores turnover, there are only 3 family members. And they sit on the group corporate board. Each company is headed by a professional managing director who's not related to the board. I'm one such guy who heads one particular vertical. Being a relation is actually a disadvantage. You won't get the job. And this flows down. We've actually, what is the word for it? We have numbers on the relationship. I can tell you that so-and-so is level 5, so-and-so is level 7 relation. We actually have developed a method of that. So we ensure that relations don't come into the group, even at operating levels. If my son ever wanted to join this group, assuming that he wanted to, I don't think he does, but if he wanted to, as long as I'm around, he will not get a job here. Guaranteed. So there is a separation of management and ownership. But owners are owners, and it's dangerous, it's getting recorded. So there are these rare diktats once in a way, and one such diktat was, you will not let water out. There was also another diktat that and all our new projects are coming on the coast, you will not draw groundwater. Because Mr. Shankar, our group chairman, has decided that water management is crucial to long-term success of the group. And by hindsight, I think his diktats were right. Today I see plants running at 25% capacity, 50% capacity, because there is no water. So our consumption of water has dramatically dropped because of the initiatives which we did in this. In certain cases, I think net we are ahead of the game. But if I look at it in small sectors, maybe in some sectors, I'm still paying money. We are trying to correct that. We are actually working with IIT Madras, or trying to work with IIT Madras on reduction of utility costs, because in a zero liquid discharge, what happens is, it's at the end of the day nothing but a reverse osmosis process. There is a lot of pre-treatment to ensure that the reverse osmosis works correctly. So any reverse osmosis process, you know that 20, 25, 30% depending on the TDS will be retained. So that particular quantity we today have to actually evaporate, which is where bulk of our utility costs are coming. The unfortunate or fortunate truth is that when we evaporate, we get common salt. And half a kilometer away, we have a large caustic plant where we actually recycle this this common salt by again mixing it in water. So if I could take this dissolved brine directly to that, I actually would save a lot of money and would be phenomenally ahead of the game. The problem is that it has dissolved silica and it has some organics. Now, if we could find a solution to removing this dissolved silica and removing the organics, we would be able to take it direct. So that is one possibility we are trying to work. The second possibility is that today, if we can reduce the energy in evaporation, assuming that, because removing dissolved silica is not exactly easy. So if we could reduce the energy involved in evaporation, we will also save a lot of money. So that is another project we are working on with IIT. And I'm confident that over a period of time, we will find a solution. As I told you, we started with 1800 meter cube per day. We today do only 1000 meter cubed. So this has happened over a period of time by our engineers trying to figure out ways of managing and sort of cycling this within the whole thing.
This just
Incidentally, if you guys really want to ask very, very technical questions, I have a colleague out here. Okay? I can only answer up to a particular level.
Sir, this is just a short question, but slightly delicate question. You know that you are very far into plastics, but plastics have had their lot of criticisms coming up due to various reasons. So
I was
from your
hoping
company,
somebody will ask this question. I was hoping so that I could bust a lot of myths. Yeah.
No, I only want to know from your experience of using these plastics, do you have any futuristic vision on this?
I'll
how
talk
to-
about the plastics we make.
Oh.
And depends on how much time you have here, because this is a subject on which I'm very passionate about, and I could go on and on and on and on. So when you guys get bored, please
Sir,
stop me.
my passion in the subject is that I'm a biotechnologist interested in bioplastics.
Yeah.
So I want to know whether your company has any interest in
We-
trying to
we
make
actually-
biodegradable plastics.
We actually do green plastics, we used to do, by using non-hydrocarbon sources of ethylene. See, basically to make PVC, you need ethylene and you need chlorine. The chlorine comes from common salt, is basically caustic and chlorine. And the ethylene, most of 99.99% of the ethylene in the world comes from hydrocarbon sources. We were one of the few plants in the world which got its ethylene from natural sources, which is basically molasses. We even today run our own distillery where we make alcohol. And then by a process of dehydration, we basically get ethylene. And so in the natural process, we used to make PVC. So it is actually green PVC. And incidentally, there is a lot of demand for that green PVC in the world today. There are some companies which specify that only green PVC can be used because they want the hydrocarbon route, those resources to be conserved. Unfortunately, for many reasons, and really we could go on and on, our ability to get alcohol was sort of not sustainable. Partially because the need for potable alcohol went up, and also the the ethanol project where 5% and 10% doping came in. So there were competing demands, partially for potable sector because consumption of alcohol for drinking went up, and partially for the doping project, doping requirement, it went up. So alcohol available to industry came down significantly. So we had to work on alternative methods. So today, on and off, we run the distillery whenever we are able to source molasses and do it. Otherwise, we do it by the conventional method. So that is about green PVC as such. It is basically a myth that PVC is a dangerous product. This is inspired talk by a lot of people who either don't know what they are talking about or want to believe in something which is not fundamentally right. If you did a life cycle analysis on PVC, basically it will come out way, way ahead of most products under the sun, and I'll give you reasons why. Partially, any other plastic which is made, 100% virtually is from hydrocarbon, be it ethylene in the case of HDPE or be it propylene in the case of polypropylene. In PVC, it is partially ethylene and partially chlorine. So the requirement of hydrocarbon is only 30% of compared to 100% in the other cases. The second aspect is that the life cycle, PVC pipes, for instance, today can last 50, 60, 70 years.